After years of releasing Zelda titles, many different crazy claims and myths have sprung up on the internet about these games. For example, can you tame a Lynel in the most recent Switch titles? Will the bomb mask damage Kafei and Majora's Mask? And can the tears of this mask make this plant grow? Well, let's look into all of these and more. When going through Breath of the Wild, there's one enemy that will terrify you. I mean, the music alone is enough to make you panic. I'm of course talking about the Guardian, the mechanical demon that has killed many of us, but apparently there's a great way to get rid of them. According to Goku, you can take out Guardians without fighting. All you do is use stasis on them, because if you do this, then they will just fall through the ground. Now this was completely new to me, so I had to know whether this is actually possible or not. But I ran into a bit of an issue. After years of not touching the game, I lost my copy of Breath of the Wild, so I wasn't able to record this myself. But after some research online, I did see that this claim is true. As you can see, they will fall right through the world. Clearly, this is some sort of glitch in the game, and by the looks of it, it hasn't been fixed yet. So you can try this yourself as well. So as you can see, Goku was right about this. Now the new Zelda game is pretty crazy. The classic Zelda formula was thrown into the trash, and now you play as Zelda who has the power to create copies of almost anything in the world. Now as you can imagine, this made everyone curious about one thing. How far can you push things in the game? And Raul asked me, if you summon fire enemies or something similar to them, can you turn cows into meat if you light them on fire? Well, I hadn't tried that before, so I booted up the game, went to Hyrule Ranch, and tried to grill a cow alive. But as you can see, these cows are a whole lot tougher than most would think, because they don't care about the fire and will even walk through it unharmed. So yeah, this doesn't work. And Nintendo clearly made the cows a whole lot stronger, because in games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, this would lead to cooked steak. One of the best side quests in Zelda history has to be the Kafei and Anju side quest. A love story with many twists and turns. And it starts as soon as you enter Termina, because you can see Kafei run to the post box at the beginning of day 1. However, apparently you can almost kill him, because if you approach him with the blast mask on and detonate it, then he will take damage. Now this sounded like fun, so as soon as I saw him on day 1, I ran at him with one mission: blow up Kafei. As soon as I put the mask on and pressed B, I could see it damaged him, and he didn't like it at all. But could this also be fatal? Well, no, you can't kill him or anything. Nintendo kept that in mind, sadly enough. So while the claim is true, I wish you could actually take him out just like the thief. But nope, Kafei is clearly immortal. Usually when you ask people about the strongest foe seen in Zelda games, they say that Ganondorf is king. But I disagree, because there's one that is stronger, the Cucco, a being that can't be killed, and if you attack it, then an army of them come after you. This is what we have seen in every game. Well, almost all of them. Because according to channel member PKMN, you can control these feathered demons if you attack them in Twilight Princess. Now I've done this myself in the past, but as you all know, if you're a member, I will feature your suggestion in a video at some point. So I went to Ordon Village and attacked the Cucco to show you all what happens. If you attack them long enough, then at some point you become the chicken, and so you can run around a bit. But after a short while, you will go back to playing as Link. So yeah, this is true, and to be honest, I have no idea at all why they added this. Maybe as an Easter egg, because you can also control seagulls in the Wind Waker? Who knows really? But this claim is true. Alright, now that we are in the world of Twilight Princess, I wanted to test another claim that a viewer suggested in the comments. One of the most fun minigames in this title has to be the snowboarding, and it does require a fair amount of skill. But apparently you can cheat a bit, because Mario fans said that you can go much faster if you wear the iron boots. Now this is something I had never thought of, but it makes a lot of sense, so I had to try this one to see if it works. First I went down the mountain with the normal boots on, and after that, I did the same thing with iron boots. And as you can see, even though I am failing hard, this does work super well. You're significantly faster with the iron boots on due to the weight. So yeah, this claim is true, which I already expected. So next time you do this minigame, be sure to equip them before approaching Yeto. Now, while the new Zelda game is a blast, there's one point of criticism I often hear, which makes a lot of sense. Sure, summoning echoes is fun, but man oh man, you use beds too often. To regain health, get across chasms, and more. But I heard that other beings in the game can also use these beds, because Dragon David said that if you summon a bed echo, then some kinds of moblins will try to lay on it. Now, I hadn't seen this in my own playthrough, and never heard of this either, so I went into the game to see if this is real at all. But when I placed a bed down, or even multiple of them, close to these moblins, they didn't care about them at all. So yeah, as far as I can see, moblins won't interact with beds. And I even tried this with multiple different types, which means that this claim is false. When Twilight Princess came out back in the day, a lot of people were excited for a more adult version of Ocarina of Time. And while it does deliver on that, you also get a bunch of new stuff that most folks didn't expect. For example, Wolf Link. Now, I quite like it, and it's especially fun that they added small Easter eggs, like being able to talk to Epona, Link's trusty horse that is seen in almost every game. But Warrior of Virtue wondered, can you also talk to the boars that the Moblins ride in the game? I mean, they are animals as well, and in the game you can talk to almost all the animals you encounter. Well, I had no idea whatsoever, so I took out a bunch of moblins and tried to talk to their mounts. But I quickly noticed that this wasn't possible at all. The boars completely ignore me, but Epona will talk to me without any issues, which is a bit strange to me. Like I said, basically all animals can be spoken to, but not these ones for some weird reason. When you first enter Kakariko Village in Ocarina of Time, you will see that there are Cuccos everywhere. Now, if you put in the effort to collect them and return these chickens to their owner, you can get a bottle for it. But is there a way to cheat this? Well, maybe. And this person from the comments came up with a good idea. He said, will attacking a Cucco inside of the pen allow you to finish the side quest? Now, this is a genius idea, because when you attack a Cucco, a bunch will fly at you. So maybe if enough of these fly into the pen, then you can finish the quest without collecting a single Cucco. So I decided to give this a shot, and as you can see, loads of them are going into the pen. So I spoke to the quest giver to see if it was actually working. But then I realized that she doesn't care about these Cuccos whatsoever. You need to throw specific ones into the pen, not a bunch of random ones. So while the idea is really good, this just doesn't work. One staple from the Zelda games is bombable walls and other things that can lead to secrets like caves, extra rooms, or grottos. And of course, this is seen in Majora's Mask as well. But someone in the comments section suggested that you can blow up more things. Something a bit more crazy. Levi claimed that you can blow up the big bell seen at the top of the Stockpot Inn using a powder keg. Now, he wasn't sure if he remembered this correctly, so he asked me if I could try it in one of these videos. And of course, I have to oblige. So I got my hands on one of these behemoth bombs, went to the bell, and placed a powder keg to see if it could really be destroyed. And while the bell does swing around like crazy, nothing else really happens. It is completely fine. Even when I attempted to do it a second time, the bell wasn't destroyed. So yeah, this claim is false. In other myth-busting videos, we looked at how songs can heal certain items in the game, and apparently something like this is also seen in the Wind Waker, because Sarakani claimed in my comment section that if you play either the Earth or Wind God's lyric, then it fixes any broken sign close to you. Now, I already expected this to work, because in other Zelda titles, this was also a thing. So I went to Dragon Roost Island, cut this sign to pieces, and played both songs. When I did this, I noticed that only one of them worked, the Wind God's aria. It instantly fixed the sign, although I will say it's a bit buggy. And as far as I know, this is the last game where this is actually possible. Now this next one is rather short and simple, but still it was requested in the comments, and this person even helped out the channel by donating. So you know what that means. This person will 100% end up in a video. Foxy Kitty said that Link can do a trick shot in Ocarina of Time. All you do is have the bow out while jumping off a cliff or edge, and then he can still shoot monsters. He can even shoot arrows while doing a backflip. Now, I had seen this before, but still I booted up the game so I could show you all these epic trick shots. Now, as you can see, all of this works, and Link's skills are very impressive to say the least. But who knows where or when he actually learned how to do this? Maybe when he was locked in the Sacred Realm for years after grabbing the Master Sword? Who knows? One of the most heartwarming side quests found in Majora's Mask involves Pamela and their father, who was slowly transforming into a Gypto. But because Link showed up and lifted the curse using the Song of Healing, they had a happy end. However, according to AP11, I missed something here. Apparently, if you go into the closet that their father was locked in and wait there until the day changes, then you will be locked inside of the closet. As soon as this happens, you're stuck in there and are actually forced to reset the game because there's no way out. Now, I gotta be honest, I was skeptical of this claim, because I would imagine that Nintendo actually kept this in mind. So I started experimenting a bit. After helping her dad, I stood in the closet and waited for the day to end. And as you can see, the closet does close. Due to this, I was stuck in it, and no matter what I did, the doors didn't open. But I could still talk to Pamela's father. So was I forced to restart the game? Well, no, because when I tried to use the Song of Soaring to get out, I saw that it worked. So you're not really stuck, but clearly the claim is true. One thing that you need to look out for in Ocarina of Time from the very start is Skulltulas, because they are found on almost any climbable wall, so you need to get rid of those before going up. Normally I do this by shooting them with the slingshot or bow, but Lucas Adams, who donated, and I gotta thank him for that, claimed that the Megaton Hammer could be used to get rid of these pesky critters. Just hit the ground and they will fall down immediately and die due to the shockwave. Now this sounded super handy, so I tried it. And yeah, as you can see, they drop dead like flies, which can speed up sections like these where you need to climb Death Mountain, which is pretty great. Fishing. It's a minigame that is seen in loads of Zelda titles, but usually you can't do much with the stuff you catch. Well, except for the N64 titles, where you can capture fish in bottles, which was necessary for some secrets and side quests. But later in titles like Twilight Princess, this whole concept was gone. However, Crisp Coffee still wondered if you could capture the mythical skullfish in a bottle. This is an enemy that you can actually catch using a fishing rod, but can you also put him in a bottle? Well, I had no clue. So I went to my favorite spot for skullfish, caught one, and swiped at it with one of my bottles. But when I did this, nothing happened. The fish continued to flop around and ended up back into the water. So yeah, you can't do anything with these undead nightmares. Now in this video, we've already tried to kill Kafei, and while explosives clearly hurt him, we weren't able to get rid of him. Luckily enough, someone else came up with an idea to deal damage to him, Lucas Adams, who once again donated, which I can't thank him enough for. He said, on day 1, when a Kafei goes to the post box, you can trick the dog who always charges you when you're in Deku form to hit Kafei instead. It requires a well-timed dodge, but it does work according to him. So I went back to the world of Termina and tried this. And as you can see, this once again works. He takes damage, falls to the ground, and even slides across the ground if he's in motion, which looks super broken. Now I love that this works, but it has one big downside. The dog is hard to position correctly, and he will often jump too early. So it's a bit hard, but certainly doable. When we busted some myths in Twilight Princess, we found out that iron boots aren't just useful for sinking to the bottom of a lake. Because if you put them on, then you will see that rolling into enemies with these boots damages them. But after that, this commenter wondered if this could also work in a game like the Wind Waker. And to be honest, I had no idea. So I traveled across the Great Sea for a bit to find a Moblin, put on the boots, and tried to hurt him by just rolling. But as you can see, the boots do nothing. I just pushed him away a bit, but aside from that, it doesn't do anything. So yeah, as far as I know, this only works in Twilight Princess and no other Zelda title, which is a bit odd. In Breath of the Wild, Sidon plays a major role. Without him, you would have never been able to defeat the great Calamity Ganon, who was threatening the land. One thing he helps you with is disabling the defenses of the divine beast Faruta. But apparently, when you're riding on top of him, you can trick the game in a way, allowing you to take him anywhere in Hyrule. You can even fly this way. So of course, I had to look into this. However, like I mentioned before with the Guardian bug, I have no clue where my copy of Breath of the Wild is. Which means I had to do online research for this one, and as you can see, it is real. All you need is a bugged out horse that makes you infinitely jump, a specific shrine that you need to teleport to, and then you begin the Varuta fight with Sidon. At that point, you drown yourself. As soon as this happens, you teleport back to the shrine, and at that point, Sidon will appear as soon as you enter a body of water. Now, he's a bit buggy, and you can even make him swim through the air, but clearly this stuff does work, and it's one crazy glitch. Taming horses was never part of the Zelda experience until Breath of the Wild introduced it, and so of course, people wanted to find the best one. Now for many, Ganondorf's horse, this massive behemoth, was the best of the best, and others claimed that Zelda's horse was the creme de la creme. However, some folks wanted more, and so they tried the impossible, taming a Lynel, and Justa from the comment section claimed that he actually saw someone do it. It required a load of stamina, but it did work. However, is this really in the game? Well, I decided to investigate this claim as well, and as expected, it is false. You can't tame a Lynel in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. It was never possible, but some YouTubers out there uploaded convincing videos claiming that it was, but all of them used cheats, hacks, mods, or something else to achieve it. So while the idea is certainly cool, you can't do this whatsoever. Sometimes people in the comments come up with some crazy ideas, and usually these are a mixture of genius and dumb. Now as soon as I see them, I have to try them, because when they are right, then man oh man, it's a great solution or life hack. And Skullkid came up with something that, if it works, is an amazing solution for a rather annoying problem. Normally you need water to grow magic beans in Majora's Mask, but can you also do this with the circus leader's mask? When you put it on, you're constantly crying. So can you water the plant with just tears? Well, I got some seeds, put them in the ground, and tried it. But as you can see, this doesn't work at all, no matter how long you wait. So yeah, while this idea was really cool, it just does nothing. Our last claim is a bit of a crazy one, because it involves one of the most infamous and dark cutscenes seen in the entire franchise, the moon destroying Termina. Because Jade asked me, can you check if this cutscene is any different if the time runs out while you're in the fierce deity form? Now I had never tried this, because usually you can finish a boss in seconds in this form, and so time won't run out, or you're fighting Majora's Mask, so the moon doesn't matter anyway. So what happens if you run out of time in this form? Well, I used cheats to turn into the fierce deity in the middle of Clock Town and waited for the moon to fall. Now as you can see, Link can't prevent the world from ending, and you still die. But clearly the camera doesn't keep Link's new height in mind, and that's why you don't see his face in this shot. So yeah, you will see the fierce deity facing the end, but it doesn't look completely right. Now those were all the myths and claims we had for this video, but don't worry, I have more videos like this that you can check out right now. Aside from that, I wanted to give a shout out to our massive legend member, Julian Lanning. And don't forget, be sure to leave your ideas below, and if you become a member or donate, you're at the top of my list. And remember, leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss any future videos.